All right, welcome to another deep dive. This time we're taking a closer look at Prime Repair Team, a company that's all about, well, keeping Toronto's doors and windows in top shape.
Interesting.
Yeah. Our main source here is their website. And let me tell you, it's surprisingly detailed about, well, everything related to commercial door repair in Toronto.
Okay, so they're specialists.
It seems like it. They handle everything you name it, from those emergency repairs to regular maintenance.
I see.
It really got me thinking, about how much we depend on these kinds of businesses to keep a city running smoothly. It's almost like an invisible network, right?
It's true. We tend to, I guess, focus on those more obvious parts of city life, but underneath it all, there's this whole hidden infrastructure that keeps things going.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And Prime Repair Team, well, they're like a perfect example of that. They're the ones making sure businesses can operate smoothly, safely, the whole deal.
The unsung heroes, you might say.
Exactly. And their services, wow, they cover a lot of ground. Their website mentions over 5 years of experience and get this, countless repairs.
Countless. Wow.
Yeah, they even say they're available 24/7 for emergencies. That's dedication, wouldn't it, you say?
Oh, absolutely. 24/7 availability. That's a huge selling point, especially in a city that, never sleeps.
Mm-hmm.
Toronto. Businesses can't afford to just stop, not with a broken door or window. It's a security risk, not to mention a disruption.
Yeah, it makes you think about the technicians, though, right? It must be demanding, that kind of schedule.
No doubt. It's easy to forget about the human element behind all these services.
Absolutely.
And speaking of the human element, their website really emphasizes their specialization in commercial door repair.
Mm.
They've got these some really compelling before and after photos. Visuals like that, they're incredibly effective. Builds trust, shows expertise.
Yeah, like a portfolio, but for doors. And they don't just stop at fixing doors. It's glass replacement, window repair, even things I'd never even considered, like maintaining those storefront doors.
It's a clever strategy. By positioning themselves as a one-stop shop for anything door or window related, they're attracting a much wider range of clients,
Yeah.
becoming the go-to experts.
Makes sense. It's good business. So let's get into the specifics of their services.
I'm all ears. Their website is, well, a gold mine of information.
Well, they categorize their services in quite a few areas. There's commercial door repair, which seems to cover, the basics.
Right.
But then they get even more specific. Things like commercial glass door repair, storefront door repair and maintenance, even emergency commercial door repair. They've thought of everything.
It sounds like it. Every possible door and window problem a business owner could face.
Exactly. Then they go even deeper with more specialized services, things like hollow metal door repair, commercial door hinge repair. It's getting pretty detailed.
Wow, so they're going deep. Have you ever worked with hollow metal doors? They seem to mention those quite a bit.
Not really, no.
They're everywhere in industrial settings, warehouses, even some retail spaces. They're known for their durability, their security features, but they're not, invincible.
So what kind of problems do they usually run into?
Well, even though they're tough, they can still get dented, get rusty, warp over time. The hinges, the frames, they take a beating, especially in high-traffic areas. But Prime Repair Team, they seem prepared for that. Hinge adjustments, frame adjustments, rust removal, repainting, even they mentioned structural reinforcement for better security.
Wow, it's incredible how much goes into maintaining a door. It's more than just, fixing a problem. It's about preventing future issues, too.
Exactly. And that proactive approach is probably really appealing to business owners. Less disruption, their investment lasts longer.
It really makes you wonder, is this focus on prevention? Is that unique to them, or is it like standard practice in the industry?
It's a good question. We'll have to keep that in mind as we look into their services.
Definitely. Now, they also mentioned board up services,
Ah, yes.
which makes sense with all this emphasis on emergency repairs.
Think about it. A broken window, a damaged door. That's a huge vulnerability for any business.
Oh, for sure.
Board-up services are that crucial first line of defense. It stops further damage, deters anyone who might, try to take advantage, holds the fort until permanent repairs can be done.
Like patching up a wound so it has time to heal.
Exactly. And in Toronto, well, break-ins and vandalism,
Yeah.
that's a reality, unfortunately. So board-up services are probably in high demand.
I bet. And speaking of things in high demand, automatic doors. They're everywhere these days.
Everywhere.
And when they malfunction, it's chaos.
Oh, tell me about it. Bottlenecks, accessibility issues, it can even be dangerous.
Absolutely.
So it's no surprise that Prime Repair Team, They really make a point of highlighting their expertise in both repairing and installing those systems.
It seems like they really are covering all their bases. And judging from their website, they're pretty proud of their expertise in this area.
It is a specialized skill set, for sure. You need to understand not just the mechanics of the door, but the sensors, the motors, the control systems.
It's like a combination of engineering and construction, wouldn't you say?
Precisely. And given how much businesses depend on those automatic doors, well, it's no wonder they consider this a key selling point.
We've touched on a lot of their services, but what about the nitty-gritty details? Their website has a pretty comprehensive FAQ section, which could give us some more insight into, how they actually operate.
Let's dive into that. I'm curious to see what kind of questions they anticipate from potential clients.
Well, right off the bat, they address the cost of commercial door repair, head on.
Okay, so they're being upfront about that.
Yeah. They admit that prices can vary a lot depending on how complex the job is, which makes sense, but they encourage people to call for a free estimate. It's a good move, I think. Transparent, lets businesses plan their budget.
Transparency is key, especially when you're dealing with, with something as unpredictable as repair costs.
And they emphasize those same-day and emergency services we talked about earlier, really driving home that responsiveness, letting customers know they won't be left hanging.
They understand urgency, that's for sure. In the business world, time is money, and every minute a door is out of commission, that's money lost.
That's a good point. They also specifically mention their experience with break-in repairs, which sadly is something a lot of businesses in Toronto have to deal with. Emergency board-up, full glass replacement, restoring security.
That's a tough thing, but they're acknowledging that reality, and then offering solutions that give businesses a sense of safety and security.
They're saying, we get it, and we're here to help.
Exactly. And they reiterate their expertise with automatic door repair, reminding everyone that they can handle all sorts of systems and issues.
It's clear they want potential clients to see them as the experts, no matter what the door problem is.
Absolutely. And they make it easy to get in touch. Booking by phone, booking online, whatever works best for the client.
They're putting the customer first, making the whole process, as easy as possible.
It's smart. In a competitive market, excellent customer service is what sets you apart.
All right, so we've covered a lot here. We've looked at Prime Repair Team's services, talked about their dedication to customer service, and even got a glimpse into their expertise in those specialized areas, like automatic door repair and hollow metal door maintenance.
We have. But there's one important aspect we haven't really touched on their service area. They mentioned covering a pretty big chunk of the Greater Toronto area, which brings up some interesting questions. Logistics, their overall impact on the region.
That's a great point. Let's explore that in our next segment.
Their service area, it's pretty impressive. Covers a huge part of the Greater Toronto area. It's a big undertaking, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, definitely. It's not just about, fixing a door here and there. It's about, understanding the needs of a whole city, a whole region, really.
Right.
Makes you wonder how they manage all the logistics, right? Coordinating all those technicians, keeping track of inventory, responding to those emergencies, all across so many different places.
It says a lot about their organization, their commitment to, getting things done efficiently. They've clearly put a lot of effort into building the infrastructure to handle such a wide service area.
And think about the different kinds of clients they must have, right? Everything from those small businesses and residential areas to those big industrial complexes out on the edges of the city.
Absolutely. It's not just different types of doors and windows. It's different building codes, accessibility requirements. Even the level of urgency can vary depending on who the client is and what they need.
That's true. A broken door at a busy restaurant, that's an emergency. But a small window repair at an office building, maybe not so much. They have to be flexible, prioritize things.
And don't forget about the weather. Toronto's climate, it could be a bit, unpredictable to say the least. Extreme temperatures, sudden storms, that can affect everything from the kind of repairs that are needed to whether the technicians can even get there.
It's like they're playing a constant game of chess,
Yeah.
adapting, strategizing, just to keep everything running smoothly.
I like that analogy. And, speaking of strategy, this wide service area, it could be a way for them to build their brand, increase their visibility, become the go-to experts for a much larger audience.
Yeah, they're weaving themselves into the fabric of the entire GTA.
Exactly.
And it's fascinating to think about the ripple effect, right? How their work impacts the region's economy, impacts people's everyday lives.
We tend to, I think, take these kinds of services for granted, but they're so crucial for, well, keeping businesses open, keeping people employed, making sure that those goods and services are flowing.
It's like Prime Repair Team is this silent partner almost, making sure those countless businesses can operate, contributing to the overall the vibrancy of the region, you could say.
It's a good reminder that success in any industry, it's often about more than just, the technical skills. It's understanding the bigger picture, the context, the impact of the work.
Well said. Now, before we finish up this deep dive, I wanted to mention one more thing that caught my eye on their website. Their commitment to showing off their work. They have a whole section with before and after photos of their projects.
The power of visuals. It's smart marketing, especially for, a service-based industry. Clients want to see proof.
Exactly. It's one thing to say, oh yeah, we can fix a dented hollow metal door, or we can replace a shattered storefront window, but it's another thing to actually show it.
It builds trust, credibility. It's like saying, hey, we've done this before. We could do it for you too.
And it's not just those big dramatic repairs either. It's everything. Minor hinge adjustments, complex automatic door installations.
Shows the range of their services, their attention to detail, no matter how big or small the job is.
Like they're saying, bring it on, we can handle it.
And by showing those before photos, well, it's also a subtle way of reminding potential clients, what can happen if you don't take care of your doors and windows.
Clever way to position themselves as the solution, right? Before the problem even gets out of hand.
It all comes back to prevention. They're not just fixing things, they're helping businesses avoid those costly, disruptive situations in the first place.
It seems like Prime Repair Team has really thought this through. Their business, it's not just about fixing what's broken. It's about understanding their clients, understanding the city they work in.
They found that balance,
Hmm.
you know, providing essential services while also anticipating what their clients are going to need, how those needs are changing.
So as we're wrapping up this deep dive, what are your main takeaways from exploring the world of Prime Repair Team?
I'm really impressed by their ability to combine that technical expertise with a real understanding of how businesses work and the challenges that come with, operating in a busy city like Toronto.
It's like they've found the secret sauce,
Oh,
delivering those essential services while also staying ahead of the curve.
exactly. And that dedication to customer service, to transparency, to efficiency, it's everywhere. From their 24/7 availability to their website to how they use those visual marketing techniques.
It shows you that success in any field, it's not just about doing the job, it's about building those relationships, anticipating needs, going above and beyond for the customer.
Well said.
Before we sign off, I can't help but think about the people behind the scenes at Prime Repair Team, the technicians, the dispatchers, the customer service reps.
Like, absolutely.
They're the ones who make it all happen.
We've been focusing on the company, the services, but yeah, it's those individuals with their skills and dedication, their hard work. They're the ones keeping Toronto's doors swinging, keeping businesses running.
It makes you want to, learn more about their stories, doesn't it?
It does. Maybe that's a deep dive for another day.
I like how you think. But for now, let's leave our listeners with this. The next time you see a door, just a door working perfectly, take a moment to think about all the work, all the people that went into making that possible. Makes you think, doesn't it? All that stuff going on behind the scenes that, keeps the city running.
It is a bit like an iceberg, yeah.
Yeah.
We only see the top, but there's this whole massive structure underneath holding it all up.
Yeah.
And Prime Repair Team, they're a great example of that. They're not just, fixing doors. They're playing a part in the city's economy, its safety, making sure things are accessible.
It's just like they're part of Toronto's immune system or something,
yeah.
responding to those problems and keeping everything healthy.
I like that. And that they cover such a large area. That shows they get it, They understand how interconnected everything is in the GTA.
It's true. A small business in Mississauga, they might need deliveries from a warehouse in Scarborough, which maybe relies on a supplier in Vaughan, right? And each one of those businesses needs those doors and windows to be working.
A chain reaction. And Prime Repair Team, they're there to make sure that chain doesn't break. Those silent partners working in the background to keep everything moving.
It really changes how I think about all those doors I walk through every day.
Me too.
Mm-hmm.
You don't really think about it, but they're more than just a physical barrier, right? They're gateways to businesses, to connections, to opportunities.
And Crime Repair Team, they're like the guardians of those gateways, making sure they're Always open, working properly.
keeping the lifeblood of Toronto flowing, I guess you could say.
Hmm.
Businesses can thrive, people can get where they need to go, the city keeps growing.
Yeah, exactly. And it highlights something, I think, about city life in general, how interconnected everything is, all these hidden networks, the services, the people with their expertise. We rely on them even if we don't always realize it. So next time you see a door, any door, maybe a storefront door or a revolving door, even just a simple hinge, think about the craftsmanship, how well it works, and the people who make sure it keeps working.
And if you ever need a door or window repaired in the GTA, well, you know who to call.
Maybe not us directly, but at least now you have a new appreciation for what they do.
That's what this deep dive is all about, isn't it? Exploring the things we don't always see, making those connections, and, well, appreciating the things we often take for granted.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep those doors swinging.